What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Ticker Fee video and welcome to the Ticker Fee family. So the symbol we're going to be talking about today is SOS, or SOS Limited. Now, what we're going to be talking about with this company is the securities class action that was filed. Okay, major deal. I want to break it down. I want to know what your thoughts are. If you own this stock, if you thought about buying it, whatever the case is, leave a comment down below. For those that have been supporting my channel thus far, guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And again, as always, I'm just going to continue to let you know what the latest news is. And if you're here for the first time, welcome to the channel. And what we're going to do is finish this video off with a chart analysis. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so if this is your first time checking out my channel, what I wanted to point out is that if you actually click on my channel and check out the page, you'll be able to see that I spoke about SOS Limited and what they're all about. So if you want to know about their services and who they are and what they provide, you can go ahead and check that out, and that should be a really elaborate video. So with that being said, let's actually check out the securities class action that was filed. So Hagens Berman National Trial Attorneys encourages SOS investors with losses to contact its attorney now. Securities class action filed. So let's check this out. There was a couple things that I like to highlight like I normally do on updated information, but let's actually check this out and see what's actually going on. So with the fraud class actions, so they're saying that the center on SOS purported recent entry into the Bitcoin mining business. So on January 21st, 2021, SOS claimed to have purchased over 15,000 mining rigs from HY International Group New York for $20 million, and a month later claimed that 5,000 mining rigs had already gone live. Now, I remember talking about that not too long ago, which I'm sure you do too. So let's see what they have to say. Now, the complaint alleges that, in truth, SOS is a fraudulent stock promotion scheme that has concealed related party transactions and has misrepresented the type and or existence of Bitcoin mining rigs SOS claimed to have purchased earlier this year. So what they're saying is that concealed a related party transactions and misrepresented the type and or existence of Bitcoin mining rigs claimed to have purchased earlier this year. So, I mean, we've got a lot going on. So, I mean, it's one side or the other. Either they did or they did not. So, now with that being said, investors allegedly began to learn the truth. Okay, now this was February 26th when Hindenburg Research and Culper Research released scathing commentary on SOS, claiming that SOS was an intricate pump and dump scheme that uses fake addresses and doctored photos of crypto miners to create an illusion of success. Now that's kind of interesting. So it makes me think, where are they getting this information from? They're saying that they did some research and that it's a pump and dump scheme, fake addresses, and so on and so forth. So the analyst pointed out that the company's SEC filings, for instance, listed a hotel room as the firm's headquarters. So the analyst also questioned whether SOS had actually purchased the claimed mining rigs, as HY appears to be a fake shell company. So I think that's pretty interesting. Now, a lot of companies do like to use, like, for example, like the Cayman Islands or whatnot for tax reasons and stuff like that. But, I mean, we'll have to keep looking into this, because if they are using it as a shell company and it is a quote-unquote pump and dump according to them, obviously we need to know this. Now, the most damaging, the analysts alleged that the photos SOS had published of their mining rigs were phony. So Culper noted that the photographed SOS miners weren't the A10 Pros that the company claimed to own. Instead, they were pictures of Avalon's A1066 miners. Now, you can easily, misconstrue that easily. I mean, okay, it might not be the A10, but it could be the A1066 miners. So are they actually misleading us or not? Or is it that big of a deal that it's a different type of miner, but they're still mining? Now, the Hindenburg further found that the original images from SOS site belonged to a legitimate rival, RHY. So Hindenburg further found that the original images were found from an actual rival. Now that's kind of interesting, if that's the case, which is the whole point of the fight. This whole class action being filed, right? So after the class period, on March 9th, 2021, about a month ago, SOS admitted that rig seller HY was formed to preserve the confidentiality of a Chinese seller of used mining rigs. Okay, so they admit that, now we know, but it's for a Chinese seller of used mining rigs. Maybe they want to keep it on the down low. Why does it matter? Do we need to know this? Now, then on March 12, 2021, Culper published a follow-up report claiming that SOS board member Wei Bin Wu is directly linked to HY and arguing that SOS supposed desire of confidentiality is in fact a thinly veiled excuse for fraud via an undisclosed related party transaction. Okay, so are they saying that they're buying shares and selling it and making a profit, or what is the case? Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave a comment down below. Now, we are focused on investors' losses and proving SOS is a false promotion scheme, according to this individual. Now, the partner leading in the investigation. So, here's the thing. This is about the company themselves, Hagens Berman. They are a national law firm with 8 offices in 8 cities around the country and over 80 attorneys. So the firm represents investors, whistleblowers, workers, consumers, and complex litigation. So I actually wanted to check them out and to see what they're all about. But this is the latest news. So let's see if there's something else that I can find, and then we'll finish this video off with a chart analysis. Okay, so I actually pulled up their company, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, one of the first things that I see that directly gravitates towards my eyes, it says Mercedes Blue TEC emissions, Oregon State University College tuition payback, University of Oregon tuition payback. So clearly they are all over the place when it comes to these fraud and lawsuits. So they've got Acura, RDX, system defect, investor fraud, consumer rights, airline travel, COVID-19 denied refunds, Amazon bookseller antitrust, another Amazon antitrust, American Airlines, COVID-19 denies refunds. I mean, then there's Angry Birds, intellectual property. So this is pretty interesting. So clearly they're all over the place. They are a massive company, so they're in different sectors. So that's what I mean when it comes to these fraud class actions. So this is pretty interesting. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this, and I'll continue to keep up to date, because this is gonna definitely affect the charts, and the catalysts are gonna either bring it up or bring it down. It's just all dependent on what comes of this. So let's actually check out the chart now. So when I'm looking at the chart, clearly you can see the support and resistance versus the trend line. So currently I'm still saying that we've got a support around between 230 and 6. So but here recently at the beginning of March the 3rd, we had quite a few volume of 328 million. And then if you actually look all the way on, matter of fact, just yesterday, and this is all according to the news, we had volumes of 353 million. Now, we can see that it's kind of fizzled out a little bit, but it's still closing in the red, which means whatever it opened up at, it closed lower than what it opened up at. So when you're looking at the body and the wicks, you can see there was still quite a few different types of volume. So a lot of buys, a lot of trades, especially what's going on with this financial stock. So I think this is interesting. We're gonna have to keep following with what's going on with this lawsuit, and if we continue to get some catalysts, because they still have a really good foundation. It's still a really good company, but I think this is going to be definitely a curveball, at least in the short term. And so keep that in mind. We have had a high of $15.88. So there is retail investors overall that have looked into this company, and I think people are still either doing options or short-term trades with this company as well. So Guys, I really do appreciate you always listening to this video. I appreciate you just listening, and hopefully I added some really good value for you. That way you can take it away and decide on some of these opportunities that you'd like to do, whatever the case is. But with that being said, welcome to the Ticker family.